Let's draw the shear force diagram for this plane sitting on the tarmac. As you know, force is vertical, distance is horizontal in a shear force diagram, and we just follow the forces. So we go down a little bit, up a lot, down a little bit. That'll be down an awful lot, down a bit more, up a bit, down a bit. That would be symmetrical because you'd hope that the engines weigh the same since they're the same engine. So it would look like that. That would be your shear force diagram for the plane sitting on the tarmac. Completely appropriate for the syllabus. Point bending stresses. Bending stresses acting on the wings. As you know, the top of the wing here, in flight, it gets bent up like that, so that's in compression, that's in tension, like so. On the wing, it's randomly tension and compression depending whether it's being bent up or down. So, bending moment, as you know, force times area, or force times distance is moment. Force times distance is the area in here. So to start with, the first thing I'd start at with 0, the bending moment would go down. I'm going to call that much 1 unit. I'm going to eyeball this. That bending stress in there is a little bit bigger than that, so that'll go to here. Area 1 plus area 2 is that point. Area 3 is fairly massive. That's that point. Area 4 comes back down there. It's identical to this area. Area 5 comes back down level with that. Area 6 comes back up level to 0. So a bending moment diagram would look something like that, which would be in kilonewton meters. That would be the bending moment diagram, the shear force diagram of stresses acting on an airframe. Only other key point, notice your maximum bending moment is always when the shear force equals 0. Here the shear force equals 0 at 3 points, and it's actually a point of inflection, the other two, where it goes from turning one way to turning the other. Notice when the shear force goes through 0, the bending moment diagram changes slope from positive to negative, from negative to positive.